Hello again everyone and welcome to this Empire Gaming Review. As always, I am your resident tech and gaming guy Dave, and this week we are taking a closer look at the latest PlayStation 4 exclusive from Insomniac Games, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Marvel. It is none other than Spider-Man, which we have been playing on the PS4 Pro. Now, just a quick warning. We have endeavoured to make this game 100% spoiler-free in regards to the story and campaign. But this video review will discuss and show on screen aspects of combat, exploration, side missions and collectibles. We will also be discussing the general premise of the game, including the variance between the traditional depiction of Spider-Man and how he is presented in this game. So, be warned, if you consider any of those to be spoilery, you should probably skip to the last minute to get the score and summary of this game. Now, another piece of information that's pretty essential to this review is that I'm not a massive follower of the Spider-Man comics, cartoons or movies. Sure, I've got a reasonable understanding of Spider-Man and the villains he squares off against, but my experience of Spider-Man refers to Peter Parker, slightly awkward high school student. What I got was a familiar but markedly different experience with this game, and I mean that in the best possible way. Insomniac Games have crafted a really interesting and fun story to accompany the New York City sandbox that you will call home in this game. And without considering myself an expert on the Spider-Man universe in any way, I was able to enjoy it for what it is. With the addition of time to Peter and the very active imaginations of the Insomniac developers, I am happy to report that this game is a story which is wholly worthy of the Marvel universe, and that really is all I'm going to say about the premise and story setting of this game. Now, to discuss mechanics and general gameplay. Being the Spider-Man and being set in New York City, you will be at home slinging through the island of Manhattan from building to building. Both the sensation and speed of moving in this way are excellently delivered, but on occasion you'll find yourself running up the side of a building when you want to swing from it and swinging when you want to run. Both of these actions are mapped to a single button, which makes sense when you consider that both are relative to moving up buildings with pace, but it can break up a really nice streak of fluid movement across the map when you misapproach a building and bam, up you go. It's minor, and with time and experience it becomes non-existent, but in those early hours of the game it did cause me a frown or two. As well as swinging and dashing, you can use your web slingers to propel yourself forward, which builds up speed and helps you get some truly sick air. It really delivers on the sensation of being Spider-Man in that respect, so I have to give credit to Insomnia for that one. Wall crawling, scaling the environment and other non-rapid movements are all fluid and intuitive too. So even when you're in a less open space, there are still options to get about easily. Now, onto the environment and collectibles. Manhattan is a pretty big place. I've only ever visited the Big Apple once in my life, but even I was able to place a couple of the bigger tourist buildings that I'd been to. When you're moving across the city, even at full speed, you'll get an appreciation of the size of it. And as you'd expect with this kind of sandbox, Insomniac Games has filled it with toys in the form of challenges and collectibles. There are loads of non-story quests to explore in this game, each one being highlighted as you build out a map of each area of New York City and visible to you with a push of the right analog stick. As well as things to collect, you'll encounter street crimes with a number of different flavours, always being preceded with a police report across the radio. All of these events have an associated form of token, which, when you've built up enough of the appropriate kind and leveled up sufficiently, can be used to unlock additional spider suits, special powers and new gadgets to help you deal with the enemy encounters in the game. Now, I'll admit that my initial reaction was one of the world being filled with busywork kind of tasks, but I found that each stream played a part in making sure that I had the right tools and experience to deal with some of the more challenging story missions. On to combat and stealth mechanics. Now, if you've been watching the screen, you may have seen a few instances of combat already, and at first glance, you'd be right in drawing some parallels to the Batman Arkham series of games. I did too, and at its core, the combat in this game is a brawler, using clever gadgets and vertical stealth elements to allow you to take out several enemies with relative ease. Now, that's no bad thing, because I've always been of the opinion that the Batman games were delivering some of the best brawler combat out there, and I would suggest that the Yakuza games are right up there in this regard too. Spider-Man has delivered on these fundamental core elements and added pace, agility, and some superb countering, which is delivered through his web slingers. As your level increases and you work through the skill tree in the game, you will be able to capitalize on those extra elements, combining them with stealthy gameplay to pull off some truly epic combos. Speaking of epic combos, multiple hits build up your focus meter, which can be used to either heal yourself or deliver a cinematic takedown to opponents. All of these aspects can be enhanced by equipping a suit power, which deliver a range of instance-changing effects. All of this channels into the boss fights, which I'm not going to go into or show you, but trust me, you are going to want to make sure that you've got a firm handle on the controls before you wade into those. Now, if it sounds like I'm pretty positive about this game, well, that's because I am. At its heart, Spider-Man is a hugely entertaining game. Insomniac have brought all of their creative talent to bear to deliver an experience which, in my admittedly limited knowledge, delivers the closest rendition of being the iconic web-slinging superhero from the Marvel Universe that I've ever seen. I am aware that for some, the changes that have been introduced by Insomniac will be a bridge too far in respect to the storyline and evolution of the cadre of characters that make up the overall game. And to them, I would say this: the only people that you are punishing by not being able to enjoy this game is yourself. This is a great game, and it stands on its own merit and delivers an experience worthy of anything from the Marvel Universe. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time swinging my way through New York, experiencing all that it has to offer, and whilst even my vaguish knowledge of Spider-Man was enough to trigger a few "Hey, I know that guy" moments, every part of my expectation was channeled into a new and interesting direction, thanks to the original work that Insomniac Games put into this one. For me, this gets a 9.3 out of 10. This is a great game. And whilst it has the occasional challenging moment when you're making your way through the city or thick in combat, it nonetheless delivers a superb rendition of being the iconic superhero and weaving an original, entertaining tale which has more than its fair share of surprises in store for anyone willing to put the time in. Now, to celebrate the release of this game, we have a copy of Spider-Man to give away to one lucky viewer of this review. Check out the link in the video bio to visit our site's review page and discover how to get into this competition. It's only open to New Zealand residents aged 18 or over, so please bear that in mind before entering. Also, if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let us know how we did keeping it spoiler free in the comments, and if you're so inclined, do subscribe to the channel and help us grow so that we can keep delivering awesome new video game reviews and content for you here on the Empire NZ. Thanks very much for checking us out, and as always, I was Dave. See ya!